Let's take it back to 2009. I remember being 5 years old, booting up one of the first basketball games I ever played. NBA 2K10 was my favorite player, Kobe Bryant, on the cover. My career had just been introduced to 2K, VC wasn't a thing yet, Play Now was still the main selling point of the game. It was so simple. Fast forward almost 15 years later, and NBA 2K24 just came out. Also with my favorite player Kobe Bryant on the cover. But the difference is, I'm not buying nor even touching this game. I'll put it to you guys like this, the NBA 2K series is trash now. I played almost every single 2K since 2K10, and I had the time of my life making my own players, building my team, heck, even playing the blacktop. But since 2K has entered the 20s, these games have been going downhill with every entry. This marks my second year of not buying 2K, as I didn't even care to buy 23 because of how disappointing 22 was. But after hearing so many people call 23 the worst 2K ever made, that was the final straw for me, and I had zero interest in buying 24. Now these games have low-key been getting worse since after 2K18, which is still the worst 2K I've ever played in my opinion, but some of those games were actually fun despite their problems. These new games just aren't. Now just as a disclaimer, I'll be basing my opinions off the newer 2Ks that I have played and what I have seen that has been done terribly in the ones that I have not played, which is basically just 23 and 24. 24 came out and people are already saying that it's bad. Now 2K has a reputation of people saying that it's good or bad when it first comes out, but then switching up midway into the year. But based off what I've seen in 24, they've gone completely off the rails with this series. Anyway, enough of me complaining about these games that I haven't played, let's just get into why I quit on these games in the first place. The first reason why I stopped playing 2K is because it becomes more of a pay-to-win concept every year. Now 2K has somewhat been this way since they first introduced VC back in 2K13, but back then we didn't really have to worry about playing against other people online unless it was in my team. But the microtransactions have gotten worse and worse every year since then. I remember watching a video a while back from Agent Zero about how VC prices have gone up more and more since being introduced in 2K13, and that the cost to upgrade your player has gotten more and more expensive every year. And that's just to get your character from a 60 to an 85, since the newer games are not like back in the PS3 and Xbox 360 days, where you could just max out your player at a 99 because you didn't have to earn upgrades and everything like you do now. But it literally costs more to upgrade your player to an 85 now than it costed to get to a 99 back then. It's obvious that 2K is getting more and more greedy every single year. You might be thinking that my career isn't necessarily pay to win since you actually have to play the game to earn your attributes, but when you eventually make it to an 85, it becomes more and more expensive to upgrade your player. As you gain attributes and upgrades, the VC prices to upgrade your attributes go up more and more to where you have no choice but to pay for VC to fully upgrade your player, since nobody really wants to spend hours grinding on my career to earn VC. Because why grind on my career all day when you could just spend money to upgrade your player instead? Literally in 2K24, they added an option to buy 700,000 VC for $150. If that doesn't sound like pay to win, then I don't know what does. And 2K also had the nerve to add a Fortnite Battle Pass in 2K24 for what exactly? To make more money. It's so clear that 2K obviously cares more about making money than making a good game. The season pass lets people get rewards for both my career and my team, which literally just adds more to the pay to win concept and microtransaction concept. And don't even get me started on my team. That mode has been pay to win since it was first added. All you have to do is buy VC to pay for packs to get the best players. Now that's always how my team has been though, so it doesn't really bother me since I'm used to it. Except for the fact that 2K literally removed the auction house in 24 and just added a player market so that you could buy the top players off of it. And guess what else they did? For the first time in 2K history, they've added the option to buy MT. 3 words, pay to win. But the pay to win concept isn't the only thing that has made me quit 2K. It's mainly just because the game just isn't fun anymore. Whenever I talk about how good 2K used to be, I feel like an old head reminiscing on the good old days. Back in that era of 2K16 and 2K17, I used to come home every day and hop on my Xbox, load up the My Part, and just had the best time of my life, win or loss. Old Town Flyer for life, by the way. Screw Sunset Beach and River City. But I'm not saying that the past 2Ks were just so much better just because they were nostalgic and a part of my childhood. They were just better games. The last 2K game that I actually had genuine fun playing was 2K20, and that was honestly because we were all stuck in quarantine, and that was one of the only games that I had really played back then. Even though that wasn't really a good 2K game, freaking glass cleaners were literally greening threes like sharpshooters, but that's besides the point. The game was still fun.
That's not the neighborhood, but you guys can think whatever you want.
The moment that I noticed that 2K started going downhill was when they ditched the parks and introduced the neighborhood back in 2K18. The neighborhood made 2K18 look like it was going to be the best 2K ever, but that was obviously a lie since everyone can agree that that was one of the worst 2Ks of all time. One of my main problems with 2K is that they try to do bigger and better things every year thinking that fans will completely fall in love with it, but by the time the game comes out, people get sick of it. Let's look at the parks for example. Park was first introduced in 2K14 where it was kind of like a neighborhood, but there was no stores or anything to walk into, just straight ball. 2K15 through 2K17 ventured out into park affiliations where players could choose between the Sunset Beach Ballers, the Old Town Flyers, or the River City Rough Riders. You could travel to different parks and play other affiliations and earn points during the rival day events, where after a certain point, the affiliation that won the most rival days will get a brand new park to play at. Then from 2K18 to 2K20, 2K ditched the park affiliations and introduced the neighborhood, where it was just one big area to where you can now walk around the city and go into stores and buy things with VC, and eventually go to the park and just play games. When the next gen consoles came out with 2K21, 2K then introduced the city, which is just a neighborhood but 2 times bigger, and they brought back affiliations to integrate it into the city. That's basically where we are at now with the current games. You notice how every couple of years they try to introduce a bigger and better concept? In my opinion, the city is the weakest version of the park so far. I always think it looks great visually, but then once you start playing, you realize that everything is so separated, so you have to take time to walk or skateboard your way around the whole city just to get to a park or a store. I don't know what the case is for 24, but I remember 2K22 my career being so annoying with the goofy side quests that they had. Like, I promise you that nobody cares about becoming a fashion model or a rapper in a freaking basketball game. I heard that 2K23 was even worse with the side quests, and I don't know how accurate this is since I obviously didn't play it. The games also get more cringe every year as well. The cutscenes and the story was cool when they first did it in the first couple of next gen 2Ks, but after a while they just got more and more cringe and stupid. Like, why is the player's nickname NP for the little 3rd year in a row? They focus so much on making the game good visually, but not gameplay wise. They spend so much time making a cringe story just for people to skip it. Like, I promise you nobody cares that Kendrick Perkins is calling me trash in my career, even though I'm literally averaging 40. Sometimes they focus so much on pleasing the fans that they don't really try to improve the game. And I think that was definitely the case for 2K24. They announced that Kobe was going to be on the cover, they brought back Rep in Park, they tried adding that season pass into the game. While recording my lines and editing this video, I always had the feeling that I was missing something when talking about the stuff that 2K24 had added into the game to try and get people to play again. Then I remember that 2K literally added crossplay for the first time in 2K history, which is something that 2K fans have been waiting for years. Even when I first heard about this, I still had no intention of even touching this game because I knew that 2K would either somehow mess it up by having the servers all bad because it's literally 2 consoles trying to play at the same time, and it's the fact that nobody plays this game anymore, so I don't even have friends to play this with. They added this feature 6 to 7 years too late. Now, if this happened in 2K16 or 2K17, this would have been the greatest thing to ever happen in 2K. But doing it in 24 when nobody really plays this game anymore kind of just shows the desperation that 2K is willing to go in order to get people to play again. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Over the past couple years, 2K has added a lot of fan favorite features back into the game, like affiliations, the rec center, rep like I said earlier. But these additions don't really feel genuine like they were back in the days of 2K15 and 2K17. They feel more like fan services. Many fans keep asking for these things to come back year after year. The way that they add these different things back into the game make it seem like desperate attempts to make people want to play again. Another reason why the game isn't fun to me anymore is because everybody all plays the same way. All everyone does on the park and in the rec and in the pro-am nowadays is just speed boost and zigzag around the court and dribble for 3 hours, then green a 3. That's not fun. Or people would just sit in the corner all game and wait for their teammate to pass it to them so that they could green a 3. My last experience of playing 2K was the rec in 2K22, and all people did was cherry pick to get 3s, zigzag across the whole court just to get open, and corner sit just to green every 3. That's not a fun concept. I know some of you are probably thinking just play defense or stop falling forward, you're just trash at the game, but there's a difference between being bad at the game and just being frustrated with everyone doing the same thing over and over. I've always labeled myself as a decent 2K player. I've never considered myself good, but I remember 2K16 and 17 being some of my best years since I was able to do everything with my players and not just zigzag over and over to get a 3. All people do in current 2Ks is make their build a good enough shooter and a fast enough player so that they can zigzag and green a 3. It's not fun anymore. Since 2K22, I've just been frustrated with the constant BS from 2K. I truly don't know if I see myself playing 2K again because it really just is the same game every year. I remember a new 2K release was one of the best times of the year. Installing the game in the morning, then going to school, to come back home and have the game waiting for you. The narrative with 2K every year is that it's just the same game every year with more sweat added on to the players, and that really is looking like the case every year. I didn't make this video just to remember the nostalgia that I had playing 2K16 and 2K17, you know, all the good games. I made this video just to give you guys my insight on why I stopped playing 2K personally and my problems with the newer games. You can disagree with me if you want to. I know some of y'all watching this video think I'm just hating and 2K is still fun to y'all, but I know that a lot of y'all can agree with me when I say that 2K fell off and just isn't the same anymore. It's fallen off so bad to where our favorite creators that came up playing 2K don't even bother playing the game anymore. And the worst part is, I don't know if 2K will ever be the same ever again, no matter how hard they try.